Her voice was sugar-coated poison. The smug lift of her chin, the calculated glance at my son beside her, silent, spineless. I laughed, not loudly, just enough to unsettle. "All right, dear," I said, "just wait." They thought I was defeated, but in that instant, my plan began. I wasn't the mother-in-law they imagined. I wasn't the quiet woman who could be discarded like an old coat. I built my life with discipline. I raised my son alone, through hunger and storms. Every cent I earned was stretched into his future. When she entered his world, polished, perfumed, and dripping entitlement, I gave her the benefit of the doubt. I told myself love could change people. But love is often just a mask, and hers was slipping. The signs arrived like whispers. The way she spoke to me as though I were staff, not family. The way my son stopped calling me mom in public. And then, the knife. She invited me to lunch, a smile plastered on her lips, venom behind her teeth. "We've decided," she said, as if announcing the weather, "to cancel your wedding invitation." I stared. "You can keep the $60,000 deposit," she added, tapping her nails against the glass. "But if you ever want to see your future grandson, you'll respect our decision." I watched my son avoid my eyes. His silence was louder than her cruelty. That was the day I stopped being his mother and became his executioner. I didn't cry, I didn't beg, I didn't rage. I laughed, because they had no idea who they were dealing with. They thought money could muzzle me. They thought blood ties were chains they could cut at will. But they forgot. I still held the blade. 60,000 was never a loss. It was a key. I used it to hire the kind of man who thrives in shadows. Discreet, efficient, invisible. I gave him one instruction: follow her. Record everything. It didn't take long. Cheating hearts are never careful. 2 weeks later, he handed me the footage. Her, in a hotel suite, wrapped in another man's arms. Her laughter, her betrayal, recorded in crystalline clarity. I didn't rush. Timing is everything. Revenge served warm is indulgence. Revenge served cold is art. So I waited for the moment the spotlight was brightest. Their wedding day. The ballroom was drenched in flowers and champagne. Guests shimmered in designer suits and silk gowns. Cameras flashed. I wasn't there, not in person. They had stripped me of that right, but I didn't need to be. My presence arrived in the form of a USB, delivered to the event planner with a simple note: play this instead of the slideshow. When the lights dimmed, the guests turned to the screen, expecting childhood photos and romantic montages. Instead, the first frame appeared. Her, my future daughter-in-law. Naked vulnerability twisted with betrayal. Her body wrapped around another man. Her lips whispering words not meant for my son. Gasps, shouts, chairs scraping against the marble floor. And then, my son. His face drained of blood, his knees buckled. And right there, in front of hundreds, he fainted. The bride screamed. Her parents scrambled. The room dissolved into chaos. And I sat miles away in my armchair, sipping tea, watching the live stream link my associate had arranged. The moment was mine. He called later, desperate, voice broken. "Mom, please, why? How could you?" I let the silence stretch until it strangled him. Finally, I answered. "You voted me out, remember? This is what democracy looks like." His breath hitched. "But she's pregnant." "Then pray," I said coldly, "that the child belongs to you." The line went dead. Now I sit with a strange calm. They thought I was powerless, that money could buy my silence, that love could blind me. But I don't believe in silence anymore, and I don't believe in love when it's built on betrayal. I gave him life. I gave him everything. And in return, he handed me to the wolves. So I showed him what happens when the wolf bites back. Will he ever forgive me? Perhaps not. Do I care? Not anymore. What matters is this. The world saw her truth before she could bind him with lies. The wedding collapsed before vows could chain him to poison. I didn't lose a son that day. I simply revealed that I never truly had one. And as for her, she'll never forget that her greatest humiliation came not from an enemy, but from the tacky old woman she tried to erase.